Hey girl, hey, I want to ask you something. Have you ever felt like your body just changed and you just could not point to one thing that caused it? Your sleep got weird, your mood shifted, all of a sudden you're full of rage and you don't know why, you want to cry, you have spiraling thoughts, anxiety out of nowhere, like such that you didn't even know it was anxiety because you've never had anxiety before. Not to mention your cycle starts doing crazy things it's never done before, and your brain felt foggy in a way that made you slightly concerned. And maybe you even went to a doctor and maybe they ran some tests and everything came back normal, but nothing felt normal and you knew it. That feeling has a name and most of us weren't told about it, given to us, nothing. And that is what perimenopause actually does to your hormones. And once you understand it, the whole thing will begin to make sense. Perimenopause can start in your 30s. Nobody mentioned that. I went all the way through my 30s without knowing. Before we go anywhere, if you're in your 30s and you clicked on this video, you're in the right place. Maybe it hasn't started for you now, but maybe it has for a friend. It's never too soon to start being informed. Generally speaking, we have been taught as women that perimenopause is something that happens to women in their 40s and 50s. Lord knows I really didn't think it was an issue until you were 50. Little did I know. Not the whole picture. Research absolutely shows perimenopause can start in your 30s. And some women have reported noticing changes sooner than that. So, if you've been told you're too young, I would like it if you'd keep watching, see if this relates. All right, what perimenopause actually is. Let's get the definition straight, let's get it correct, and let's define it because there are 4 stages. The 4 distinct phases. Premenopause. Premenopause encompasses your full reproductive years. Your hormones are cycling and everything, relatively speaking, is doing what it's supposed to do. Perimenopause is la transition. It's your transition. This is the phase that we're talking about today. It can last 4 years, 10 years, in my case, 15 years. Not uncommon. Your hormones start to shift, start to fluctuate, and start doing things that they have never done before. That is perimenopause. Menopause, technically 1 day. It is the first day after 12 months of no menstrual cycle. It lasts 24 hours, and then you're in postmenopause. Postmenopause, your hormones stabilize at lower levels, but they stabilize and you stay there. This series is about perimenopause because that is where most of us are suffering and getting zero answers. Don't worry, postmenopause has its own conversation coming if you're interested. That is not what this is about. So let's talk about what hormones actually are. Hormones are chemical messengers. Did you know that? That's it. They travel through your bloodstream and they tell your cells what to do. Grow, slow down, store this, release that. And here's the part most of us probably were never taught. Your hormones are not just reproductive. Your hormones are not just reproductive. They run your brain. They run your heart. They run your bones. They run your gut. They run your skin. They run your mood. They run your sleep and they run your metabolism. These hormones are whole body messengers. I cannot emphasize that enough. They're not just period hormones. Okay, so your cells have receptor sites. Let's think of them like locks. And your hormones are the keys. When the right key meets the right lock, a process starts. A message gets delivered. You have estrogen receptors in your brain, in your heart, in your joints, in your gut, in your skin, quite literally everywhere. So when estrogen starts to fluctuate, what happens in perimenopause? All of those systems feel it, all of them. So if for any moment in time you thought you were crazy, let that land. You are not. This isn't random. This is literally biology. This is your body. This is your biology, our biology. Perimenopause is not low estrogen. It is erratic estrogen. And here's the thing that most people get wrong about perimenopause, and honestly, even a lot of clinicians get it wrong. We've been told that perimenopause means estrogen drops, and that is just not true. Eventually, sure, but in the years of perimenopause, estrogen can actually surge. And research has found that during perimenopause, estrogen can spike to levels about 30% higher than what you experienced in your fertile years, and then crash and then spike again. It is the volatility, not just the decline that causes these symptoms. Imagine trying to stream a movie when your internet connection keeps cutting in and out. That is what your cells are experiencing when estrogen is doing this. 1 week your estrogen is high and you feel like yourself. The next week it crashes and girl, you cannot remember why you walked into a room and you start thinking you're Looney Tunes. This is not you losing your mind. It is okay. You are not alone. 51% of the world, we are going through it or some phase of it. This is just hormones in transition. And I have done enough brain fog in the last couple months to honestly make me question if I was losing it. But coming back to this information and this material and having these conversations has given me hope and allowed me to relax, as well as taking HRT and peptides to address the issues. But onward. Progesterone. Progesterone declines first before estrogen. Now, while estrogen is doing all of its things, it's surging and it's crashing, progesterone is taking a different path. Research indicates progesterone starts to decline before estrogen starts to get erratic throughout most of the perimenopause transition. Progesterone is a calming hormone, and I love that. It supports sleep, it stabilizes your mood. It is the hormone that says it is okay, you are safe. You can rest now. When it starts to decline, guess what happens? The first things we start to notice, generally speaking, is trouble falling asleep because our brain won't stop. Anxiety that seems to come out of nowhere, especially if you've ever had anxiety before. Hello, me. Shorter fuse, God help me. Heavier periods, yeah, I had that one too. And mood shifts that are going to catch you off guard. These are progesterone symptoms. Not your personality changing, it's okay. And not stress responses. Most of us get told it's anxiety or burnout or stress or not getting enough sleep. And we leave a doctor's appointment with no answers. And then in comes testosterone. And I know we as a society don't generally speak about testosterone. And I have been pounding that drum because testosterone is a woman's hormone. We make it, we need it, and it does decline in perimenopause. Testosterone affects our libido, our muscle mass, our bone density, and our brain function. When our testosterone drops, a lot of us notice that our sex drive just kind of dwindles to disappears. It just gradually goes away. Sometimes it just doesn't occur to us. And some of us may notice it is also harder to maintain muscle mass. You can feel weaker. And newsflash, there are testosterone receptors in the female brain too, not just estrogen, meaning it plays a role in how sharp and clear we feel mentally. The research on cognitive function and testosterone in women is still catching up, shocker. But clinically, a lot of women report that when testosterone is addressed, their brain fog lifts. And don't worry, I'm going to do a whole video on testosterone. So, reproductive hormones are the anchor, and when they shift, the whole system responds. And here is where it gets really important. Estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone are what we call the anchor hormones in this transition, but they don't work in isolation. When they start to fluctuate, guess what else feels it? All the other hormones in your body. Cortisol, your stress hormone. It begins to dysregulate, which affects blood sugar, belly fat, and your sleep. Wah, wah. Thyroid hormones can be impacted because estrogen and thyroid hormones compete for binding sites in the body. Insulin sensitivity changes, which is why a lot of us suddenly start to gain weight without changing anything that we have eaten or the way we move. Melatonin, serotonin, and dopamine, all of them influenced by estrogen. This, my love, is why perimenopause shows up as 150 plus symptoms across every system in your body. It is not one thing going wrong, it is a whole cascade of things. And every single video in this series is going to walk you through one piece of that cascade so you actually understand what is happening. So, what does this actually look like in real life. The early signs of perimenopause are not always hot flashes, not often leading with hot flashes. First symptoms are often sleep changes, menstrual changes, and a general feeling of not being oneself. Mood changes and breast tenderness. Things like waking up at 3 a.m. for no reason, your period suddenly coming on earlier or getting heavier, anxiety that feels different or new, breast tenderness at weird times in the month, feeling more irritable, headaches that are new or more frequent. These are hormone signals and they can start in your 30s. The reason that most of us miss them is because we weren't told to watch for them. So, here's what I want you to take from this video. Perimenopause is not a reproductive event. It is a whole body hormonal shift. And the symptoms that you're experiencing aren't rando symptoms out of nowhere. They are not in your head, and you're not falling apart. Promise. This is just data and information. All right, over the next several videos, we are going to go hormone by hormone, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, cortisol, thyroid, insulin, all of them, so that by the time we are done, you feel like maybe you actually have an understanding, of your body in a way that no doctor or physician has probably ever taught you. Nothing that was ever explained, definitely not in school. If you're watching this, you're already connecting the dots. I'm so glad you're here. Subscribe, because this series is built for you. Share this with one of your girlfriends who needs to maybe have a little light in her day or feel like, oh, maybe this is the way to move. Maybe this is the stuff I need to start researching. Maybe I need to go do X. Let it serve as inspiration for someone, hopefully. Let's have the conversations. Leave me the comments. Tell me your stories. I'm going to read them all. And if there's things that you want me to research or talk about, please let me know. And girl, if you have not done something to love yourself today, please go do that. And if you don't know what that looks like, drop me a message. I'll help you out. All my love until next time.